Alright, so I think the last time I talked about someone being an industry plant was when Ice Spice first came around over a year ago, but now it seems that the internet has once again been forced to pay attention to another personality, with it this time being Bobbi Althoff, the 30-something-year-old podcaster that popped up out of nowhere getting interviews with Drake, Lil Yachty, and many more, on a format that was already popular like 4 years beforehand, which is why for today's video, we're going to be breaking down who exactly this person is and seeing where she stands on the plant allegations. Scooby Gang! We're back. It's another beautiful Monday. Another beautiful Monday in the neighborhood. Y'all probably done just got off work. Y'all probably done got off school by the time you see this video. And I'm just here living life. It's Labor Day today. You know what I mean? So y'all probably didn't even have to work. And if you did have to work, fuck corporate America and fuck corporate society for making you work so hard on Labor Day. You know what I mean? But as for me, I'm always on a job. I'm always working. You know what I mean? And for today's video, we have to talk about industry plants. And I'm not talking about the plants that come out of your ground. You know what I mean? I don't have much of a green thumb. So whatever plants came out of my ground and my yard instantly died. I'm talking about industry plants, you know, the people within the music industry business that were grown straight out of the ground, came out of nowhere, you know, and automatically planted within the major mainstream scene to help with profit. All right, and you know, if you've been on the internet for like the past like month and a half, you probably know who Bobbi Althoff is. You know, she's that awkward, quirky podcast girl who kind of came out of nowhere with a Drake interview. You know what I mean? As you can see here, you know what I mean? And you know, she's been getting bigger interviews with like Offset, you know what I mean, Lil Yachty, Tyga, and whatnot. You know, which seems very out of nowhere. A lot of people kind of questioned her rise. I was one of those people. I definitely questioned her rise. I don't really think she's that appealing to me. She kind of gives off that very like I hate to say this word, but she gives off that very like NPC kind of behavior, you know, very white girl humor, for a lack of better words. Not very appealing to me. I don't think she's very funny. I think she's just like that. She's that awkward funny, you know what I mean? That like Tumblr kids would like, but you know, anybody who actually has friends wouldn't like. And you know, her rise kind of just came out of nowhere, and I think that's just what I really wanted to talk about today. So shout out to Phillian for dropping a certified hood classic a couple days back. I feel like I've dodged this topic long enough.
Over the last few weeks, this girl has been plastered over everyone's Twitter feed, which is exactly why the entire internet is calling her an industry plant.
I mean, I am one of those people, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of agree. I have a lot of suspicion just because of how quickly she kind of just popped up. You know what I mean? And I know some people saying like, oh, she has some traction on TikTok. I mean, yeah, but it's like, I don't know, like, her jump from just doing these little couple of TikToks, you know, a couple thousand views and stuff like that, to instantly jumping up to, like, a Drake interview just seems like just such a weird, like, leap in her career, you know what I mean? In comparison to, like, a lot of people who you can tell, you know, they've been, like, on the brand for a very long time. You know, it definitely seems very random.
Bobbi Althoff is a 26-year-old TikTok personality who seemingly blew up overnight.
All right, so... this is funny as shit because in my intro, writing the script for the intro, I did like absolutely no search up on Bobbi Althoff's age. So I thought she was like 30. I feel kind of bad now, like I'm low-key insulting her because I thought she was like 30. I could have sworn she was like 32, but yeah, no, she's 26. So Bobbi, if you're watching this, I apologize.
To 3.5 million followers from her mommy content, where she featured her deadpan humor and her milkers. I'm not trying to be funny, that's literally how she blew up.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hate that that's even a thing. I really hate that this is a thing. Who watches this? Why would anybody want to watch a pregnant woman dance? I feel like the internet is just starting to become more and more of a psyop, because if I ever caught anyone I know, like if I just walked into somebody's room and I just see them watching TikToks, right, of just some pregnant woman dancing, I'm gonna think they're insane. And like, just something's off about them. What kind of psyop ass shit is that?
All in, never half step. I wanna see everyone rep.
So, a lot of people are wondering, how the fuck a brand new podcast secured Drake off the rip? The story of Bobbi being an industry plant is compounded by the fact that her husband allegedly makes a shit ton of money. However, this is kinda hard to verify considering Bobbi removed her entire catalog of old content which featured her husband.
That's smart. I'm not gonna lie, that is smart. That is smart. You can't prove the allegations if you remove the evidence. So that was pretty smart. But definitely makes her a lot more suspicious towards her success. Because I mean, why would you remove any trace of the guy who was in your content, from your content? You know what I mean?
Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I had questions to ask about.
Did you write them down?
No, I remember my stuff.
Okay, congratulations. You've been doing this for a lot longer. You're much older than me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was just a smidge bit cringe. Like, that's what I be talking about. Like, I don't fully get her appeal. Like, it's just like monotone voice, very like bland output and personality. You know what I mean? That's meant to make her seem a bit more like quirky, or like, I wouldn't per se say interesting, but I guess like funny. You know what I mean? Like an ironic comedian. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that sort of like weird ironic humor that I guess people are supposed to like, be entertained by, but I'm not feeling it. I don't get it. I don't like, it's not giving me the ha like it's giving a bunch of other people.
Personally, I just find it annoying and nauseating because it's been done so many times, yet she is getting incredibly famous for it.
Another thing I also said in my intro was that, this was something that was already done a couple years ago. You know what I mean? If y'all remember Chicken Shop Date with that British girl, she was doing this stuff for like, 2-3 years as far as I can remember her. Like, I remember her seeing her content like years ago. So it's really weird to like see somebody basically just copy the same format, not exactly bar for bar, copy it just enough to where it seems pretty similar, you know what I mean, and then get as much traction as she did, because she's literally just Chicken Shop Girl, but American. She's just American Chicken Shop Girl.
Bobbi says she started this podcast because she wanted to make a lot of money. So she named it The Really Good Podcast. It's an attempt at irony, and it features her charming personality gimmick of not trying.
Once again, as I said, irony humor. I just don't get irony humor like hers. Like where's the ha? Where's the he? I'm not laughing. You know what I mean? If my dog was here in this room right now, my dog wouldn't be laughing either. My dog would be like, LowNotes, what in the piss knuckle are you watching? This looks like dog shit. Like, I just, where's the ha?
How is playing what I did in high school as a minor personal? You want to know what I did as a child?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, as a child, I played basketball.
High school's not...
Like, this right here, okay, so if this dude is like an actual, like, actor or whatever, like, I don't know who Rick Glassman is, nor do I really care to know, but, like, apparently I guess he'd be like some sort of, like, actor dude or whatever, like, but yeah, I'll look it up real quick. Rick Glassmass. All right, so he's like an actor, comedian dude. I'm looking at here the stuff he's been on. I don't know any of this shit. What is this? The Outdoorsman? I don't know. If he's like an actor, comedian, of course he's gonna be acting in some sort of fashion. Like, you could even say he's playing a character right here, right now for this bit or whatever this is. Like, I just don't get it. Like, this clearly just seems like it was all kind of just specifically constructed to be in a sort of fashion, because you see how she she's playing her character right now. She's got the little deadpan look or whatever, and the dude's being all animated, like, oh, what's going on, why am I here, why are you asking me all these wacky questions, when in reality it's not that serious. Because if it was supposed to be like a podcast interview, you're not going to be acting like such a dickhead about it like Rick Glassman is. So
episode, she activates her fucking trap card, and Drake comes out of the bushes, and she gets 5 million views in 24 hours on a rather fresh YouTube channel.
One, that's probably just an effect of like, that Drake cosign per se. You know how it goes, man. Wherever Drake goes, everybody else kind of goes. Yeah, to be 4 videos in and like automatically just get like a Drake hop on, that's kind of weird. That's kind of crazy, you know what I mean? And I could definitely see why people would be suspicious of that. Especially when, as Philion said in the video, I don't know if I'll cut it or not. Philion said in the video that clearly, her style of personality might have seemed taken from somebody else, which it was. Looking here, like, yeah, you're 4 videos in onto a fresh channel, fresh in quotations, because I mean, she cleared out a lot of her content, cleared herself of any, Colleen Ballinger association. Pretty interesting to see that, 4 videos in and, you got a Drake cosign already, so.
According to her, she is completely self-funded, and she is maxing out credit cards to do this.
All right. So, she's saying that, like, oh yeah, she's maxing out credit cards, she's burning through so many finances, just to go broke to make this podcast happen. I don't believe that. As I said before, like, I still think, of course, like, her husband definitely has to have some sort of connection, some sort of ring around it, especially when you're able to, get a deal with the same talent agency as Drake. You know what I mean? Kind of crazy to go from like pregnant mommy dancing videos being in one of the biggest talent agencies there is out there.
Like flights, everything. I've been just like, even to come here, I just spent like $2,000. Like that's money that I don't have yet. I put it on a credit card.
That's cap. I mean, as Philion just said, there's no way you are associated in signing a deal with one of the largest talent agencies out there. You know what I mean? WME, there's no way you are associated with them and you're just having to go in such deep credit card debt. You're putting all of your money on rent to stay out there in Laguna Beach, which, to all my Californians out there, is that an expensive place to live? All right, I've never been to California myself because I don't really care for those people. But let's look up something. Average rent price in Laguna Beach, California. All right, so the average rent for an apartment in Laguna Beach is $3,142. All right, now this is of course coming from an iffy source. I don't know Rent Cafe, nor do I really care to. Average rent for apartments in Laguna Beach, California is between $1,995 and $6,000 in 2023. So she's saying she's spending, you know what I mean? All right, so one, for starters, right? Of course, she's definitely not doing the minimum rent, in Laguna Beach, California of $1,995 because, you're putting all of your money, you know what I mean, toward this rent. So you're only making $2,000 a month. That just doesn't make, one, you're only making $2,000 a month. That just doesn't make any sense, right? That's, you know what I mean? Especially from, a podcast of that level and that kind of traction when, let me remind you, you are signed to one of the biggest talent agencies out there, WME. There's no way you are only able to, where all of your checks, even associated with WME, you're only pulling in $2,000 a month. And that all goes to rent, apparently, and everything else is just killing your credit card. That just doesn't make any sense. If that was the case, I don't even know how you were even operating with all of this. Like, none of this entire podcast shouldn't even exist. You know what I mean? It just literally doesn't make any sense. Like, it's such a pointless cold cut lie. It's like when SZA lied about not watching TV. When it's like, why would you lie about that? We clearly know you have a TV, dummy.
That's not fair. I manifested this podcast and it worked.
Well, we also have a great agent that I'm friends with.
No, that's not.
I'm fucking dead. I'm so dead. Mark Cuban basically just cooked her. He basically just exposed her. And just right there so casually. Like, oh yeah, I am best friends with your agent. So, which if you guys don't know who Mark Cuban is, he's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, which is, an NBA team, So funny that, yeah, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks is also best friends with Bobbi Althoff's, agent, which once again proves strings being pulled behind the scenes from the beginning.
Yeah, Mark Cuban doesn't believe in manifesting because he, in fact, is great friends with TJ Bernardi, her agent.
All right. One, Mark Cuban's feet were dirty as fuck. Gross. Two, TJ Bernardi. Let's search that up. TJ Bernardi. Let's search that up. Yeah, I think I spelled Bernardi right. I don't know. It sounds Italian. All right. So look in here, right? I pulled him up, right? TJ Bernardi, right? Getting promoted as a WME partner, right? All right, so Bernardi started in 2010 as an intern in the business affairs department, right? Worked his way up to talent department, with Jessica, whatever that last name is, Brendan Joel, and Patrick, whatever that name is. His clients include, right, Millie Bobby Brown, Kid Cudi, Adam Devine, Dave Franco, Mark Cuban, Cole Sprouse, Halsey, and Kiernan Chipka, and Lily Singh. Lily Singh especially is the one that gets me because she's also an internet personality. So once again, it just proves like there's no way you're saying oh I spent all my money on rent and I came up from nothing and I'm in such deep credit card debt. Dude, your agent one is best friends with Mark Cuban, right? And he's the agent of Lily Singh, who, I mean, come on, she clearly has high funding for the projects that she does. Let's not forget, she had a whole talk show. Even though it was a dog shit talk show, she still had a whole talk show on, live TV, on a big network. So, come on now. Millie Bobby Brown, one of the more popular actors out there on one of the more popular TV shows of the 2010s. Come on now. What is this? You know what I mean?
She is probably a walking federal operative.
I'm so dead. This man called her a fed. I mean, he's not wrong. I'm 90% sure Bobbi is a MK Ultra experiment meant to control our minds. But aside from that, if there's one thing I've realized as a small content creator is like, man, really trying to actually do this from the ground up, like I'm doing right now, like with this channel that you're seeing right now, I'm doing this from the ground up, dude. You know what I mean? If you've been here for like the past like year, I've been doing content, you should know, like, this thing has came like a long way. You know what I mean? I used to have like crappy mics, crappy setup. Like this stuff you're seeing right now, this 1080p camera that you see recording, didn't have this before. Audio-Technica headphones, didn't have this before. Audio-Technica mic, didn't have this before. You know what I mean? I didn't have none of this before. I was running off garbage. You know what I mean? And I mean, I still have a very long way to go. You know what I mean? But when it really comes to like coming up out of that dirt to actually, you know, grow on the internet, just grow in general in terms of virality, yeah, it's a lot more tougher path than whatever Bobbi's went through, you know what I mean? And it's really, really annoying to see how this whole super humble upbringing is and whatnot, when it clearly seems like that's just not the case, you know what I mean? I still can't get that out of my head. Like, there is no way you are signed with one of the biggest talent agencies out there that also has associations with Drake, all right? And you're not getting anything from it. That's not true. That's not true. There's no way. I don't believe that at all. There's no way your agent is also best friends with Mark Cuban, is also the agent of Lily Singh, Millie Bobby Brown, Dave Franco, and Kid Cudi, and you're not making any money. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. That's all crap. You're not paying for anything. You don't do anything. You're just a face. That's all she was. She's just a face. You know what I mean? No matter how many times she tries to disprove it. I just looked it up for y'all. She's just a face. You know what I mean? But I mean, that's basically just a rundown. Yeah, I kind of just wanted to really get into that. This topic very much interested me because, I mean, Bobbi Althoff, man, where did she come from and where did she go, right? Like, I feel like when it comes to, like, industry plants and stuff like that, I mean, as Phillian said in the video, you know, plants are everywhere. Plants are going to be planting, you know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, in today's age of, like, social media and how quickly people consume content, you're going to see more and more plants every day. There's going to be plants everywhere. Artificially grown personalities and artificially grown talent is going to be popping up more and more every day. It's being proven every day. You know what I mean? So, in conclusion, Bobbi, you are a plant. Please stop trying to act humble. Clearly, you came from a lot of, privileged background, you know what I mean? You clearly have some pretty solid connections. Your connections have clearly very solid connections. And in conclusion, fuck capitalist society. Everybody's a plant and everybody's an experiment. She's a fed. Get Bobbi. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Always good to be back for another video. But if you feel like it, feel free to subscribe as well. Follow my IG and Twitter. And follow Chocolate on Instagram for more illustrations. And I'll see you guys next time when I expose Bobbi for being an MK Ultra experiment. Peace.